Hey guys and gals, and welcome back to Fuzzlet Fuzzy, your perfect outlet for film entertainment. In today's episode, we're back with Fuzzlet Fuzzy News, or otherwise known as the FFN. Now, we've missed a lot of news since our last video, so I'm going to have to catch you guys all up, tell you what's happening in today's news, and a little bit extra. And we can see some TikTok memes on the way. Just kidding, we've had enough of that. But without further ado, let's give a shout out to the song that's on right now. So this is from the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. I saw this movie. It was fantastic. I loved it. I already love Spider-Man. I have a Spider-Man onesie. I wore it for one of my videos earlier, and it's a pretty good intro into Spider-Man. I think it's just fantastic. So without further ado, let's pause that and let's get straight into the news. I have a whole bunch for you guys today, and we can't spare another second talking here today, except for running the runtime of this video a little bit longer. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, before we can continue on with any huge news happening, T-Series is still trying to catch up to PewDiePie, so don't miss out. Subscribe to PewDiePie and save YouTube for the better. If YouTube weren't around, we wouldn't have FFN, so subscribe to PewDiePie. And if you already have, make another account and subscribe to PewDiePie. I already have 9, and they're all subscribed to PewDiePie, so I don't know what you're doing watching this video, but if you don't have 9 accounts subscribed to PewDiePie, log off right now, go to PewDiePie's account, subscribe with each account that you have, and then go back to this video to watch the rest of your news count for today. But this is really important, so continue to subscribe to PewDiePie. Make sure that T-Series does not take over YouTube, and that YouTube continues to be the #1 crowned, jeweled website on the internet. So save YouTube. That's all I ask. Thank you. Okay, so what we have here is that EA cancels another open world Star Wars game. And this is terrible because the reason EA canceled this game was because EA needed another Star Wars game to come out soon. And the open world Star Wars game was not going to come out in the due time, so they decided to cut off all funding to the open world Star Wars game so they can start putting money into somewhere else to make another Star Wars game. But my thinking on this is, why is it so important to get a game out just to have another count? Because I think EA's only had 2 Star Wars games since they had their license of 10 years, and we're only 6 years in, so we got 4 more years to go, and they've only released 2 games. And why they cut off funding for an open world Star Wars game when it's so important to them about the numbers of games that are coming out instead of like the actual quality? Because this could have been a super awesome. You're going to be a bounty hunter going on like the galaxy's edge, walking around Star Wars, fighting off the different empires that there are at the time with the lawless world that you're living in. But EA continues to cut off funding to games like this because they can't stick with one idea. And EA does want to get like some kind of online game, because online games do last a little bit longer than like campaigns and solo games. Like even with great games like Spider-Man that came out on the PS4 not too long ago, it had lots of hype as soon as it came out. But if you look at it right now, it's probably not as like, it's still epic, but it doesn't have like the player base, and it's not, everyone's looking at the new next game coming out like Red Dead Redemption and its online system going to come out. Everyone's looking towards that, and games that have single player are getting lost behind. So it's sad, but it is right. More people spend a lot more time on like online games, so EA has a point with cutting off funding to this, but the game still would have been pretty cool, you know. Like I played Black Flag, and that's like a pirate game, and this would have been like that, but in space with spaceships and different things to fly around, and it would have been completely epic. But it got pulled. So look forward to EA's 3rd game of Star Wars coming out, because they pulled off funding for another one, so let's see what they're going to put their money into. The next one, get 50% done and pull their money out of that one. So we don't know if it's EA's fault that they keep pulling the plug for these Star Wars games, or if it's Disney's fault. Disney also had that thing where like they're trying to get the brand new Star Wars Land Galaxy's Edge open on, what was it, May 4th? So it would be like the May 4th be with you. But the contractors messed that up, so Disney's Galaxy's Edge isn't even going to open until later, like in the fall of 2019. So all of the Star Wars that we could have is just being ripped out of our hands as consumers for just in government, or not in government, but in corporation deals that are happening where they just can't get enough money and they don't have the numbers that they need, and it's a complete utter mess. But hopefully soon we'll have another Star Wars game to play, because oh my gosh, this universe to be in, to be immersed in, is absolutely fantastic. I watched the Solo movie on a deck of a cruise ship, and oh my gosh, when I got off, I was like acting like I had laser guns, and I was blasting my way through the Empire, and I was running around jumping looking for the Millennium Falcon. But we're just gonna have to wait, and I guess that's what all Star Wars things. If keep having these setbacks, is Star Wars still gonna be huge? Yes, it's gonna be huge because a whole generation is growing up loving Star Wars. With all these even new movies come out, because like when I was growing up in the Clone Wars series, but now we have an even new with the First Order and all like the Resistance. It's completely a new generation of kids growing up loving Star Wars again. So will Star Wars still be around? For freaking sure. Alrighty then, hitting you up with some more news. MattPat, probably one of my favorite YouTubers to watch with their epic game theories that they come out, had a live stream about Earthbound, but decided to name the title Undertale instead. This caused a little bit of confusion between the developers of Earthbound, asking MattPat if they can please put their game name somewhere in the live stream, therefore they can get some recognition for the game that they made. Now, Earthbound does look a little bit like Undertale, so I could see what problem was happening here, but he named the title like an Undertale lookalike or something like that, and Earthbound didn't like that, and they tried to ask for some recognition, and MattPat said it wasn't his fault for like getting the title wrong. He has other people that are working for him that made the title, and he just said after that that it really wasn't up to him to put the title in, but he decided that he wasn't going to give him any recognition at all until Undertale actually wrote MattPat up and said that it would be fantastic if you were to put their game in like info somewhere in the live stream. Therefore, every single game that he plays on a live stream does eventually get some recognition for actual good playmanship. So after he did that, he finally did put Earthbound and fixed everything up, and now he's changing the way he does live streams, where he actually is going to give more recognition to the people that made the game, and it's going to be a lot easier for game creators to get that little recognition for like kind of small companies like Earthbound that just made their new game that MattPat played. And he was trying to like say that Undertale is a huge game, that if you put Undertale, it's going to get a better search up, even though Earthbound wasn't even written in. So his planning had a little bit of sense, but in the long run, it didn't really make the biggest amount of sense because it got all like messed up in the handling and grasping of everything. But I'm still going to watch Game Theory. It's probably one of my favorite YouTube channels, and Film Theory as well. They're always fantastic to watch, and I love watching them. And I hope to see more videos with that in it, and maybe I'll see some kind of live stream or apology video for all this mix-up. But I've never seen MattPat in like a lot of drama, and this isn't even that much drama either. It's just a company asking for him to do something, and he said no, and that's just a little bit weird, I found. So, next news. Okay, so this next article I found quite hilarious is that my boy PewDiePie, the one I enjoy watching the most because he has the most subscribers at all, said that he was going to wear some Logan Paul merch just because he actually helped him out in times of need when T-Series was getting that close to passing him, which we are coming close to a time like that again. Coming up, I don't have the live stream anymore, but we are coming close back to that again, where T-Series is coming close to passing PewDiePie. So he decided to wear Logan Paul merch just to give his gratitude out. But literally the next day after he was wearing Logan Paul merch, Logan Paul made a statement that he wanted to be gay for a month, making it sound like it's an option, like an obligation, or not like an obligation, but it was like a choice to being gay, that it isn't like you are born with it. He made it sound completely weird the way that he was putting it down, but he was saying it was kind of like a challenge, you know, like being vegan for a month. So that's how he tried to justify it, but it made him look a little bit silly, and it made my boy PewDiePie look a little bit funny as well. So that was a little bit funny. It's like probably the only controversy I've seen PewDiePie go through 2019, but it's not even based around him, it's based around Logan Paul. So Logan Paul has already reached his first controversy of 2019, and it's the beginning of the year, it's not even the first month that's passed, so this is kind of sad, but you know, we're probably going to have another funny, controversial year just like 2018 was and 2017 was. So hope to see what on earth could happen this year, to see what kind of mess we'll get at the end. Alright, so this next thing is not really a meme, but it could be seen as like some news. So this is Big Chungus. I'm pretty sure if you've been on the internet at all this entire week or last kind of like a couple of weeks, you've probably heard of Big Chungus somewhere. So Big Chungus is basically just the Looney Tunes rabbit that grows a little bit bigger in size, so he looks a little bit funny. And someone actually made a little Photoshop version of like the PS4 Big Chungus as if it was like a real game. So actually, a mother was searching in like a GameStop asking if they had the game Big Chungus, and the people running the store were absolutely laughing hysterically, and they shared the story online, which I find completely funny that a little kid was asking for a game named Big Chungus. And as well as this came up on PewDiePie's channel, where it's a Big Chungus lookalike. So this woman has become very famous because of PewDiePie with that 8 million subscriber count, and now that's how you become famous. You just look like Big Chungus. Welcome to 2019, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, isn't it? Okay, next thing. Alright, so this next thing is a video about Nystedt, another one of my favorite YouTubers. I actually used his footage on one of my videos. If you can search up and find that out, I'll give you 10 fuzzy dollars. So search that up, see if you can find his footage somewhere in one of my videos. But this video that he was talking about here was kind of about like, it wasn't a burnout of YouTubers, but it was more like what it's kind of like to be a YouTuber, that you can't really complain about your job even though you have to get a video out every single day because you have an obligation, because now you have Nystedt himself has over like almost 11 million subscribers watching him. That's almost 11 people needing to watch his videos just to like ease their mind or learn something new. So he's constantly like this huge source of like inspiration and ideas, and that's a lot of pressure on one person. So he's talking about how it is tough to be a YouTuber and you can't really complain about your obligations to upload every single day. And if you don't upload every single day, you're gonna start losing subscribers because people will like lose interest in you if you only upload every, let's say, month. So you have to upload like every single day, like how PewDiePie used to do it, or sometimes 2 times a day, how Jacksepticeye used to do it. And that was a huge burnout on Jacksepticeye, and it caused him to lose his voice. He had to get surgery done on that, and he had to take a month off of YouTube. And I was thinking that was the end of it, but he finally came back, and that was fantastic. He tried doing 2 videos a day again, but it was just way too much for him, and now he's gone down to 1 video a day. And Jacksepticeye has a huge amount of energy, and to have that just like stripped out of you, it takes a lot of force. It takes about like 38 million, I think, last time I looked at his sub count, to take out of you. And PewDiePie is working at the same thing. PewDiePie is still a single creator, and he's making all this videos and all this content for all these 80 million people that are watching him, and it's complete disaster because he's only a single person when T-Series is like a huge company trying to work together, and it's a lot of work for just one person. But I'm super glad that he's still in it, because if I'm looking anywhere to being like Nystedt, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, all you gotta do is just make videos. I made a video yesterday on my gaming channel. Everyone go check out my gaming channel. I got the same setup that I have here with my a webcam, so you can actually see my face on the footage. So go check it out. It's a lot of fun. We're having a whole bunch of fun over there. If you're not subscribed to that account, you're missing out a whole bunch, because we just have fun every single video that comes out. We normally have like maybe half an hour long video. You get to watch that, have some fun, be around with us, and leave your comments down below because I do read them. I haven't made a reading your comments video in a really long time. Hopefully with this new setup I got, I can finally make a reading your comments video, and we can have a little bit of fun with that. But without further ado, let's find one last thing to look at and talk about. I want to hear your comments also below of what you think about all the news that I've gone so far. But let's look at one more thing just for today's video. Okay, so with this next thing, I'm a little bit late to the party because New Year's was about almost a month ago now, but this is almost my favorite video I think I've ever seen on YouTube so far. Probably my favorite video in 2019 and maybe even 18. I don't remember seeing videos that were this good, but this is Ninja right here in New York on New Year's Eve, and he's trying to teach everyone how to do the floss in New York City so they can try to break a new world record of getting 1 million people to floss in New York. So he showed them how to floss at the start, and now he's counting down how many people can floss, and he got some flossing music going. And Ninja himself isn't really good at flossing. This kid is not even flossing right here. I don't know what he's doing. And he goes up to this stage part, and this is gotta be the funniest thing I've ever seen. But he starts flossing on the stage, and everyone out there on the stage, or not even like in the crowd, is not even moving a muscle. Like, this is like the stillest I've ever seen. The most amount of people. Those people aren't even flossing right there. Okay, maybe he's getting a little bit better, but real flossing should look like this. Just pop and eat. That's what happened. I'm also shaking my door. Okay, so I helped you out, Ninja. I flossed. I wasn't up for New Year's, but I flossed for you right now, right here on camera, because I was about to take a selfie with all the people not flossing at all. I wonder how embarrassing this is. I don't watch Ninja myself very much, but I wanted to see like some kind of video after this. Maybe there is one. I'll just have to search it up. But oh my gosh, what an utter mess to be in. I would hate to be on a stage in front of a million people trying to get to do something and absolutely none of them do it. But with that all out of the way, I'd like to say thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next FFN. This was your host, Fuzzlet Fuzzy, and I'll see you in the next FFN. This was your host, Fuzzlet Fuzzy, and I'll see you in the next FFN. Thank you for my 3 hosts that I have here on stage, and I'll see you on the next Fuzzlet Fuzzy News. Goodbye.